Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, it's one of the most beloved brands on the planet. We're talking about Toni and Guy, and we'll be talking to the Vice President of Marketing for Toni and Guy USA next.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox. Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team, and the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, believe it or not, Toni and Guy will celebrate 60 years next year, 1963. It started in London, and the world has been having a hair affair with Toni and Guy ever since. To talk about how they stay on top of the trends, Richard Rivas, he's the Vice President of Marketing for Toni and Guy USA. Thanks for coming on the show.
Of course. Thanks for having me, Jeff.
Very cool. Well, before we talk about this legendary brand, I want to hear your journey. How did you first come to Toni and Guy?
Absolutely. So I started my career in New York at L'Oreal. I was fortunate enough to work on L'Oreal Paris and the Integrated Marketing Communications team, and then worked on the global teams for Redken and Pureology. And then had the opportunity to meet some Toni and Guy people, and they convinced me to move to Dallas, and I've been here almost 5 years now.
It was a good career move. I mean, had you been to Dallas before?
You know, I'm from Texas originally.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm from a small town, San Angelo, West Texas,
Sure.
about 4 hours from here. And every time we would go back to school shopping here, and I passed by the Toni and Guy, and I'm like, man, that's where all the cool kids go. I want to be cool like them.
But I asked you before the show, is it a prerequisite that you have great hair to work for Toni and Guy? I mean, you have amazing
Well,
hair.
thank you. I'll credit my mom for that
Okay.
one, because she has really good hair. So I think it's genetics. And then working around hairdressers, I'm not a hairdresser. I'm a marketer. I feel the pressure to represent with some good hair.
Absolutely. Well, we have some video, and I want to know where you guys get your inspiration.
Absolutely. So, you know, we're a hair company, but we're inspired by fashion and music specifically. And education is at the heart of our DNA. So we produce a collection every 18 months. So this collection that you're watching is called Humane. We launched it in 2021, and this just kind of shows what we're inspired by. And the culture, a lot of this that you see is more street culture, all different types of ethnicities, faces, all different walks of life. And we wanted everyone to feel represented.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of pressure on a company like yours to always stay looking ahead and
Right.
looking ahead. And one of the trends that I think you guys were early on in was inclusivity.
Sure.
Let's talk about that.
Thank you for that. Inclusive culture is a big part of our brand DNA. It's one of our core pillars. You know, hairdressers are creatives, which makes it exciting a lot of times, but that's just who we are. Our academy students, they're from all different walks of life. They look different. Even how they identify is completely different, even down to our employees. So we just feel like everyone should have a place. So when we produce these collections, we want to make sure that everyone's represented. We launched a collection in 2018 called Us United. We had actually our CEO, Zach's mother, who I believe at the time was in her 60s, in the collection, which is sometimes a little bit unheard of. And then we had his son, who was 7 or 8 at the time, and then all different types of people. So we just want to make sure that everyone feels seen.
Absolutely. Well, I have to ask you about COVID,
Yeah.
because obviously, you know, salons are hit by COVID. How
Right.
did you guys adapt?
You know, the hairdressing industry was really hit very hard, not just Toni and Guy. So my heart goes out to all hairdressers around the world. But for us, you know, we just wanted to make sure that our clients knew that they were in a safe space and the product wouldn't be sacrificed. Like, they would still come in and get a great haircut, great hair color. But to get ahead of that, we produced some content that we actually sent to our clients in an e-blast and in our website, so they knew what to expect when they came into the salon before they even walked in the doors.
You just have cool people working for you. I mean, every time that I've gone to TONI&GUY, there must be, I mean, in addition to them being talented, they're just really nice people.
They are, and they're creatives by nature, and that's just who we are. We want, and we do actively recruit. That's part of it. We want people that want to feel cool and want to, flex their creative muscles a little bit more. And it goes past the scissor or a hair painting brush. It's how you express yourself with your fashion.
Absolutely. And I think, I hope you'll agree with me.
Yeah.
Your stylist becomes your therapist, and you're sharing everything with your stylist. It's important to find the right people.
It is. Hairdressing is personal. I feel like it's your doctor.
Yeah, right.
You got to find the one that fits for you. I mean, I feel like, my coworker, she's my hairdresser, but she probably knows more about me than a lot of my best friends.
Amen.
Which is strange.
Understood. Well, we can't talk about TONI&GUY without talking about the products. You are so well known for the products. Tell me the story behind products.
Right. So we launched TG Bedhead, and the Muscola family did. So we started with our academies and our salons, and then the product line soon followed, which was a huge milestone for the brand. But then we sold it to Unilever in 2009. That being said, Unilever is dissolving some of the products, not all of them, but primarily their hair color and some of their stylers and hair care. So it's a new era for us. So we're able to welcome a new product line because our exclusivity is no longer. So we're welcoming in Orbay and R&Co, which is huge for the brand. I'll speak for the leadership, and even our hairdressers, some of them have been with us 20 to 30 years. They only know TG Bedhead. That's all we know.
Right.
So it's a great time. It's an exciting time because we're all getting to learn together.
Wow. And I have to imagine that you're always looking towards the future on what trends and what product would tie into that trend.
Sure. Where we try to really kind of challenge our people is don't be limited to hair. Find inspiration all over, whether it be architecture, painting, music, literature. And I think that allowing even our clients to have options and curate those experiences and hairstyling for themselves, I think it kind of speaks to more of what we're trying to do for the future.
Absolutely. Richard, we only have about a minute left.
Yeah.
Final thoughts. What would you like to leave the audience with?
If you're willing, or if you're scared to make a change with your hair, take that risk. I think it's worth it, especially since we're starting a new year. So take the jump. Don't be afraid.
All right, we're going to end with two websites.
Sure.
TONIGUY.com is kind of the main website.
Right.
And then you also have a second website, TONIGUY.edu. Tell me about that.
So TONIGUY.edu is for our academies. This site is the first of our rebrands. So our North Park and Galleria salons were the first in 2019. And then the way I see it is websites are your brick and mortar, right? So the .edu is the first that's taking on the new rebrand, and the .com will soon follow in March.
Outstanding. Richard Rivas, Head of Marketing for TONI&GUY USA. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.